In today's video, I am going to share with you 6 side hustles that you can do remotely. Guys, I hate to break it to you, and I'm sure that you already know that your job doesn't care about you. If business gets difficult, like it did during the COVID-19 pandemic, when they were massive layoff, your job has no problem letting you go because you're just a number to them. So it's obviously not smart for you to put all your eggs in one basket, yes, and be fully dependent on just one income stream. Yes, so guys, if there is one thing that you do this year, I want you to get a side hustle, and even better, yes, if it's a side hustle that you can do from anywhere on your own time, I want you to figure out which one is best for you. I mean, according to these 3 criteria, what is it that you love to do? What is it that you're really good at? What is it that people will actually pay good money for? I know a lot of these side hustle, videos on YouTube are all about how much money that you can make, but I actually kind of disagree with that. Of course, the money is important, but ultimately, if you don't enjoy doing something or you don't have a natural kind of talent for it, then you're not really ever going to get to the point where you can even make that much money. You will either get sick of it or you're just going to fail. So whenever I coach people on how to make money here, yes, I always take them through this, these stages. Whatever is in the sweet spot at the intersection of all the criteria in the side hustle, is where you're likely going to make the most money and have fun doing it. All right, so guys, the first side hustle that you can do remotely is, more specifically, I'm referring to direct response copywriting. Now, direct response copywriting is a very specific type of writing that businesses use to drive customers to take a certain action. So if you've ever bought something online or you've signed up for a free newsletter, it is likely that you've read something written by a direct response copywriter that drove you to actually take action. Now, going back to that, what we discussed, the stages I discussed earlier, is this something that people will pay for? The answer is definitely yes, because businesses need to drive their customers to take action and make purchases. The work that direct response copywriters do is extremely important. So it directly impacts the revenue, and businesses will pay top dollar for really good copywriting. Guys, the sky is the limit here, and for real, there are some real life examples. I pay a direct response copywriter in my business. She's on a monthly retainer, and that's only for just 20 hours working in a week. Guys, I've also hired direct response copywriters for, of course, short-term projects, and I've paid them flat fees for the projects, which is spanning for about 3 months. If you're really good at the top of your game and you want to make the big bucks, I was recently at a masterclass, a mastermind, where one of the guest speakers was in-demand direct response copywriter. She's the most famous for having written a $400 million sales page. Guys, the best of the best like that usually charge a profit share percentage of the sales that directly come from their direct response copywriting. I don't know what percentage that she charges, but as for profit share, let's say it's even 1%. And on 400 million sales, do the math yourself. That's $4 million. In order to succeed as a direct response copywriter, you obviously need to be very good at writing. And I do think that you need a natural talent, yes, for writing. You don't need to know direct response copywriting right away, but you do need to have a sense for how to communicate with words, because really, if you're good at this, you can turn words into money. And as for how to learn direct response copywriting, specifically, I recommend starting with books that teach you how to communicate persuasively. Like, there's so many books online, but you can check out a book written by Robert Cialdini, which is a great place for you to start. If you really want to take this seriously, I recommend, learning from the best of the best. So you can go to your nearest library and look for such books. I'll link to the online course somewhere down below in my description. Guys, the third piece of it is what you love to do. Yes, think about it. What is something that you really love to do? And for me, I really think that if you want to succeed at this, then you have to be, you need to love human psychology. I mean, like understanding the emotional triggers that make people to buy and want to take action. It's the kind of any sort of side hustle that you start. start where you need to get clients. So at first you need to put together a portfolio to show that you actually know what you're doing and that you're good. And then a lot of it is to just outreach from there. And I recommend cold outreach, which is where you find a list of businesses or influencers online that you really admire, read their copy, see what type of contents that they're putting out there, and then send them an email pitching your own services. To really get noticed, make sure that you tailor that email to their business. Don't make it some sort of generic email. Don't go and use ChatGPT to generate one nonsense email that everybody now sounds alike. So you have to be very careful when you're using ChatGPT. You're welcome. So guys, don't make it some sort of generic email that you just send mass of it to a bunch of businesses. Really show that you have studied their business and that you think that you can help them, and that really goes a long way. Of course, you're going to get a lot of rejections, which is normal, and a lot of people will not even respond. But if you do enough outreach, you're going to get some hits. Now, to really increase your chances of being noticed or getting noticed, I would also either offer your services at a discount, yes, at least in the beginning, or even for free, yes, for people to try it out, or even offer, yeah, like I said, do it for free, like a sample of your work, so they can test you out, risk free. Another way you can start getting clients is by putting up a profile on Upwork or Fiverr. But please do not forget to get testimonials from them, reviews from them. Just make sure that you really put up a really good portfolio of your past work. Now, in the beginning, your portfolio can just be samples of writing that you did on your own, whether it was paid for by a client or not. But I would say it's hardest to get clients in the beginning. But once you get the client, you get your first clients, keep the ball rolling, because businesses hire direct response copywriters through word of mouth. And that's actually how I found majority of my copywriters. Somebody referred somebody. So once you get the ball rolling and you're good with your clients, you're good, your clients are happy, it gets a lot easier to get work. Now, the second side hustle idea is being a virtual assistant. Guys, a virtual assistant is a remote professional that provides tech support, operational support, administrative support, or even creative support to small businesses and solopreneurs like me. There is definitely a huge demand for virtual assistants due to technology. Facts. The fact that most businesses have some sort of online presence these days, and because we're all just getting busy and need a lot of help. I have a personal assistant that posts for me on my social media just to free up space and time for me. And like I said, we're all just getting busy and need a lot of help. So if you're good at being detail oriented, if you're a good communicator, you're super organized, and you know how to figure things out quickly, you would make an amazing virtual assistant. And you definitely also need to be tech savvy. And as for the third criteria, if this is something that people will pay for, the demand for virtual assistants, guys, is also increasing. And as a real life example, I pay my virtual assistants. Yes, so she's on a monthly retainer. I pay her every month. She gets a salary. She's definitely not going anywhere because, yes, so as for how to get started in the virtual assistant side hustle, I have a couple of recommendations. I've put together a course for you. Yes, so find it in the link in my description. But first, guys, you really need to decide what type of virtual assistant you are going to be, because there are many types of virtual assistants. Yes, there are virtual assistants that specialize in social media or marketing, and there are also virtual assistants that only do accounting, bookkeeping, or administrative work. There are also virtual assistants that also, they have more of an executive assistant role. They help with scheduling, they help in managing small email inboxes for busy professionals. So I say the first place is to start to sort of narrow down what type of virtual assistant you want to be. To get your first few clients as a virtual assistant, I recommend not even bothering with freelance marketplaces like Upwork and Fiverr, because it's very competitive and you might not get noticed. I actually recommend starting with an agency if at all you find one, or work directly with them. And yes, I have a course that will actually train you and also point towards bring clients to you, yes, where possible. And guys, eventually, if you're good enough and you build up a rapport with your clients, you can ask the clients to you can be on a direct contract basis with them. And from there, just like anything else, word of mouth referrals will bring you more and more clients. Now, one pro tip advice I have for you is that you really need to get specialized in certain software and skills, because the more specialized you are in something, the more you stand out. All right. Now, for the third side hustle, this one is a little different from the first two that we just talked about, in the sense that it is something that you can do on your own time. You don't need clients. This is options trading, yes, and it's a side hustle. It's something that I've probably talked about in one of my videos. Specifically, it is trading options, but in a particular way. But for you to generate consistent side income without getting into the weeds about what options are, basically, you can think of options as stocks. Yes, you can buy and sell stocks at a profit, and you can also buy and sell options and make a profit as well. There are two types: there's call options and there's put options. Unlike stock trading, where it is really hard to make a consistent profit, it is a lot easier to generate consistent income through options tradings. And if you do a specific strategy called a high probability spread trading, you can give it a try. Basically, it's a style of options trading where you trade only high probability strike prices, which means in advance you already know which trades have a high probability of succeeding. The moment you trade this option, you actually get paid for it upfront, and later on, as long as the stock doesn't move within a certain range, so you get to keep the money. But guess what? You need to somewhat have an interest in the stock market and financial topics for you to enjoy options trading, because it's definitely a very intellectually stimulating side hustle that I personally enjoy. For you to be good at it, you can get over the learning curve, and you're good at managing your emotions. You have to be very careful trading whatever you know that you are willing to part with, to lose, because the truth is you can lose and you can win. I don't want this video to be too long, so yeah, this is something. If it's something that you can do, then yeah, you are your own boss. You can go ahead and give it a shot. But guys, in my next video, you don't want to miss it. Just click on the subscribe button in case you have not joined the family yet. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and do well to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend. And of course, I will see you guys in my next video. Take care and bye for now. I love you.